Sit down again. What else is here? Choose a book. Several books are stacked next to the sofa. Some appear ancient, while others look like they've never been opened. Among Theodora's data that has been restored using your cogitator is the phrase Litanies of the Motive Force. It is the title of one of the books here. That's what I was looking for. Choose that book. As you pick up the book, a hidden button in its spine clicks under your finger. You notice a short inscription in the book, from a faithful servant of the dynasty in lasting memory, DVV. What did that do? Cargo. At Muck. No, you're thinking of Electro Priests. Those are special. They pretty much have them all over, and they all tie into a giant stack of electrical capacitors that are part of their spine. Those Elect-2s are not just LED lights. They literally show them to shoot lightning from their hand or suck the charge. Yeah, I know they're not just LED lights. They have a purpose. I was being facetious. Those guys are hardcore. When they first turn on their implants, their eyes melt. Yeah, we learned that earlier. These gloves grant the wearer plus 10 tech use, plus 3 plasma damage. When the wearer hits an ally with an AoE attack, the wearer gains 1 stack of Zealot until the end of combat. Zealot increases... Wearer deals plus 10% damage with their area attacks for each stack of the Zealot effect. So every time you hit an ally, your AoE attacks increase by 10%. More cargo. The mysterious Xeno artifacts rest in a stasis field. The mysterious item undoubtedly created by inhuman hands. Okay, so the big question here is, what did the button in that book do? Did it pick up the book and put it in my inventory when I picked it up? No, doesn't look like it. Change the music. The vid screen of the data slate before you displays the names of several Vox symphonies. Lore Imperium succeeded. You recognize the melody playing right now. It is the first of 36 parts of the Symphony of Honor and Duty. Choose the piece Symphony of Honor and Duty Part 2. The music of the speakers momentarily grows louder, filling the entire room, then goes back to normal simply without any change. Have a glass of wine. Grandmaster's blood. The full-bodied wine is sickly sweet. You feel sluggishness wash over you. Alarms have been sounded. Dude, are you serious again? Trespassers, surrender or be killed. At least these guys do their job. It's you. Apologies, your lordship. We're leaving. Have a glass of wine. Flame of purity. The wine fills the glass, glittering in the dim light of the room like liquid gold. Its tangy flavor burns your throat, leaving behind a spicy, biting aftertaste. Your short, faint hum as an unseen motor stirs into the motion. The room responds to your actions with a quiet grinding sound. A small nook reveals itself in the nearby wall. Inside, you find a databank bearing the Von Valancius coat of arms. Databank of Dargonis. An engraved data drive... Dude, so I had to drink the correct wine? An engraved data drive found in a cache on Dargonis. The information it contains has been carefully encrypted. Okay. So the wrong wine bottles had alarms on them. Okay, so I can't just read it, whatever it is. I did not find this in my last playthrough, I don't think. Think a deer gives you the wine clue? I had a better solution. Drink all the wines. Oh, I didn't realize I could access the void ship from here. Void ship bridge. Alright, back to the void ship. Do I have a quest of, like, who to bring this thing to? So I gotta go to Kiava again. Okay, so I gotta go to the other one now. Alright. Next area. Alright, big map. So going to the warp, and let's jump somewhere. Alright, where's areas with question marks? Areas we haven't been. There's one there. Lord Captain, our astropaths received a message from Archelius Scalander on Dargonis. He closely studied the data from the incursion on Phobos 6, including the mention of the Xenos leaders. He promised to direct the efforts of his aides to identifying those enemies of humanity so their location can be determined. Master Scalander is also reporting Drukhari are getting ready for more attacks on your territory. Information from his aides continues to arrive, and Achilles will personally report to you the moment the target for the upcoming raid becomes clear. Drukhari excel at catching their opponents off guard, and there will be little time to mount a response. According to Master Scalander, your personal participation in the defense would be the best strategy given circumstances. Lord Captain, this is Master Helmsman Ravor. The crew is grumbling again, but they have a right reason this time. Our analytics systems have gone totally bonkers. The Red Robes, tech priests, are blaming the anger on the machine spirits. Allegedly, this is how they profess their displeasure at the crew not being worshipful. We have largely managed to stabilize the output of the augurs and auspexes across the ship, but you should know that there is something awfully sketchy about the machines these days. Voxmaster, I can confirm, Lord Captain. The vessel's analytical systems were behaving incorrectly for a time. The cogitators could not produce statistical data and displayed meaningless numeric combinations instead. The augurs failed to correctly analyze matters and mistook solids for liquids and vice versa. Thanks to the tech priest's efforts, standard operation of the ship's mechanisms has been restored. I am still registering sporadic reports of similar malfunctions, but we should now be able to handle them. Lord Captain, I humbly request an audience with you. Proctor Anthar is interfering with the crew and demanding to see all the archival records of fugitive criminals we have ever received from the Imperial Navy. The matter is urgent. If you please, Lord Captain. I will meet with both of you immediately. Thank you, Lord Captain. I don't recall this. I'm not sure if I've seen this one. Have you played this before? Yeah, so when the game first came out, I did a playthrough of it, loved it, and then now, like over a year later, I'm playing it with all the DLCs that have come out since then. So they've added a lot of little stories. Plus, you can do a playthrough of the same game and make different choices, and it'll be a bit different. Your Lordship, Proctor Anthar is interfering in the work of the crew. He's intimidating and threatening them, demanding access to the ship's sealed archives. And as for his dog, Vigdis pauses, shifting her gaze to the Cyber Mastiff and tucking her hand behind her back. I humbly request that you take action. Vigdis, what's wrong with your hand? Allow me to explain. The Voxmaster tried to pet Glyto, which activated his self-defense protocol. As a result, I had to step away from my duties to have my implants replaced, esteemed Proctor. Well, you didn't ask to pet the dog. I already apologized. In any case, what happened was the expected outcome from unauthorized contact with a living weapon of the Adeptus Arbites. Vigdis, why did you try to pet Glyto? I didn't. This is the first time you've ever seen the Voxmaster so agitated. I did not try to pet him. It is not customary to keep such cyber beast on a void ship, Lord Captain. This is my first encounter with such a creature. That Glyto, it was following me all over the bridge. And you decided to interfere with his work protocol. Vigdis cast Solomorn a cold glance before continuing. I had studied the archives and found mention of a ritual to establish contact that involves an offering and physical interaction with the beast. You are literally talking about bribery. A pointless act. Cyber Mastiffs cannot be bribed. Neither can arbitrators. Solomorn, stop interrupting at once. The Proctor nods briefly. Solomorn, why are you sabotaging the work of the crew? I was compelled to intervene as Glyto had intercepted a suspicious signal. The encrypted message contained the words heresy and fugitive. I managed to trace the signal back to the Voxmaster's workstation. I needed to dispatch Glyto on a reconnaissance mission to obtain new evidence and ultimately to ensure your safety. In other words, you sent the beast to follow me. I questioned the crew in the Voxmaster's absence and established that the wanted bulletins sent by the Imperial Navy were being completely ignored. I suspect that Senior Officer Tulliman is abusing your trust. What do you have to say to that, Vigdis? Vigdis presses her hands together. Reports of fugitive criminals, which number in the hundreds, are of low priority. What's more, I know that Lord Captain Theodora was most adamant on the matter. If you forgive me, her exact words were, "We are not Grok's damned bounty hunters." The Proctor would know that if he had brought his questions to me rather than interrogating astropaths and comms officers. As for the Vox transmissions, the frequency on which the senior officers communicate is encrypted. I alerted the staff to the situation with the Voidsman who was brought to you on the bridge to stand trial. Need I remind the Lord Captain that Proctor Anthar has no authority to access transmissions conducted by senior officers on the Rogue Trader's flagship, not to mention that the signal was wrongfully intercepted. Did you know that one of the Voidsmans was a fugitive heretic? No, Lord Captain. He was not on the list of wanted criminals in the Cronus Expanse. I assume it is because of the relative insignificance of the heresies he was accused of by the Calixian authorities. Perhaps Proctor Anthar had information to which the Imperial Navy does not have access. Salamorn, what are you suggesting? Your flagship is untouchable for external inspections because of its high status, and criminals are taking advantage of that. So you need an internal audit. You need to pull up the archives of wanted bulletins and double-check the crew records. That is the only way to identify and eliminate potential threats to you. This is madness for a ship whose officer corps alone compromised hundreds of people. The work hours that would be required for such an audit. Yeah, but it sounds like we could easily have bad juju on the ship. I have listened to you and I am ready to make my decision. They look at you expectantly. I'm okay with him doing an audit. Remember, my character used to be an Arbites, so like this guy's a bro. Solomon, you will be granted access to the archives and lead an audit of my crew. As you command, Rogue Trader. Interesting. So, alright, so this is part of the newest DLC then, if it involves him. Very interesting. But like she said, I think there's thousands or tens of thousands of people on a ship this size. So, it's gonna take a while. Alright, warp travel. Alright, shart rounds. Alright, let's... reduce route difficulty at least to yellow. Alright, and then visit this one. I think the bright red route, you guaranteed get, like, jumped by demons or something. You're gonna have a bad time. Scanning. What's that? Unidentified ruins. Choose party members. Yeah.
The ruins are emitting faint psi energies. However, it does not pose a direct threat for now. But I advise that we do not linger here.
Why is my PTSD flaring up? I feel like there was an annoying puzzle here. Oh, I like how the dog went up to the treasure and started barking. Cracked Xenochest. The small hole made from a strange material has no keyhole or any other openings. The murky crystal in the lid is cracked but continues to glow inscrutably. Okay. Athletics check.
There! Done! What lies beyond?
Uncover the pattern. A single look at the strange pattern is enough to send your mind reeling. Someone has carved a strange pattern in the floor. As you look at the lines, a fog descends over your mind. This human skeleton is curled up in an unnatural position. It is inside a void suit with a hole burned right through it. Nothing ever happened from spooky pedestals, right? Alright, quick save. Activate the pedestal.
Don't frighten me.
Okay. Redirect the energy beam. Alright, so are we drawing one of the pictures? It seems the pattern no longer works. Okay, so that was, I would guess, that pattern right there. Okay. I'm gonna try to do the star-looking one now. Look in the jaws. Open the chest. Ancient Force Sword. Whenever the wielder suffers energy, fire, power, or warp damage, the sword absorbs a part of that damage, reducing it by a percentage. The wielder gains percentage armor penetration for the next attack, stacks. Sword does an additional damage. Interesting.
They will see. Oh,
Okay.
yes, indeed. They
Magic murder
all
sword.
will see.
Hey, Mike. Hi, Grimson. Folko says, Muck, do you think it's a good idea to play WoW on US servers if not in the US? Just happened to found a fellow nerd who plays WoW, but he plays on US for some reason, so I'm kind of torn between playing with friends or playing on regionally closer servers. I mean, the friend you made, are they in US? Because you said it like it's weird that they're doing that. You might ask them why they're playing on that server. I will say the lag would be the main thing, right? Is it an acceptable amount of lag? Like when I play on EU, the lag is okay, but I don't want to do like high-end PvP there because occasionally it gets bad. He's not from US, which is why it's weird. And if it were me, I would just ask him. Or her. There used to be the best non-heretical force sword in the game, but they've updated several items since then. Adamantine, don't have Extractium right now. The Lone Mountain Chain is composed entirely of a mineral with a shiny mirror-like surface. The mineral itself has no particular value for production, but its properties make this place incredibly beautiful. The sky is brilliantly reflected in the many surfaces of the plateaus, oddly shaped rocks, stone arches, and columns. The view is especially stunning on clear starry nights on the Aurora Trail, when the Aurora Trails dance in the sky. The enraptured crew have asked the Lord Captain's permission to visit this remarkable place. Grant shore leave. The shore leave passed without incident, and the ship's officers talked about it for weeks afterwards. Proctor Anthar went for a short training session with his faithful cyber mastiff and was satisfied with the results. However, according to eyewitnesses, the training session was rather strange. The Arbiter simply sat on the edge of the mirrored plateau next to his dog, silently staring into the distance. Okay. Alright, so about to get attacked by a ship battle. Mike, did you see the Valkyrie helm in the black line chest? It's a winged helmet. Yes, that was there since before they announced the icon of the winged helmet. We talked about that in the winged helmet videos. Yeah. As soon as you draw close to the unknown ship, it points its loaded cannons directly at you. Several other ships emerge from the shadows of drifting asteroids tightly encircling you. Captain Xantha Lebu offers a mocking greeting and a proposition. You can buy your way out of this, but the price must be to her soul's satisfaction. The outrageous suggestion sends your crew into a fury. You're in a no-win scenario. You can either enter an uneven fight and lose everything, or shamefully pay to save your skin, sacrificing your pride. Can flee through the warp. I just quick saved. Attack the nameless ship first to gain the upper hand. They're like, pay us or be shot. And I'm like, shoot them. Hey, Muckster, what game? Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. It is a CRPG. Same type of game as Baldur's Gate 3, but different universe.
They don't know who they're dealing with.
And this right here is a mini game where our ship, which our ship is huge. It's like kilometers in length. And we just got jumped by pirates. So, we are going to cast gun now.
Engage the lads! Commence the
litany of macro cannons.
Alright, deploy fighters. Let's see, boarding party on that one. They started some fires. And then use the warp to try to spin them around, which rips their hull apart a little bit. Okay. Let's see. New heading. We can make a sharper turn this turn. Increase range of the next hit by 2. Alright, that little enemy ship is gone. Deploy another fighter squadron. Spin that guy around again. How are our shields? Front is fine, sides are at half. Boarding party on that guy. Start some fires. Alright, end turn. Alright, interceptors. And interceptors again.
Their fate awaits
Oh, it's so
them.
low. On the puzzle planet, you can put the crack chest you picked up in the jaws of that statue and then do the puzzle with the other pattern and get 2 really good items out of it. Spoilers. Shush.
Void Master, if you please. Engage the last.
Alright, that one's done. And there's one more over there.
The destination is known.
Boarding party. After you, Mugajad. Hi, Lich. Left. Okay. Is that the last one? Yes. That went really well. Alright, got some scrap and stuff. Did we take any damage on that? Considering how outnumbered we were. No, we are full health. We took no damage. Sweet. Let's see. Alright. Spoiler McGee in chat just told us that there's another puzzle I missed back here. So let me run back here for a second. Alright. Morning, everyone. Hi, Barry.
One step at a time amidst the madness.
Alright, so we're back here. Alright, so I guess we just put that thing in there. Alright, so we didn't even have to, like, select that in our inventory. No, it says that pattern no longer works. That's a pretty big combat party compared to BG3. Well, you have 6 people, but that is his pet, that is his pet, that is his pet, and that's her pet. So I've got 4 people with companions that do different things. But your party in this game is 6. Was there another pattern besides the 2 of those?
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
Wait. Hold on, what? What was that? Why did I just hear a perception check go off? Let's try demolishing this. Let's see if there's anything under it besides just opening the
The
passage.
Vizier. Would he be
No,
proud?
I just opened the passage.
Am I?
Alright, let's go back to doing the star thing. That pattern no longer works. Okay, so neither of these patterns works.
Curiosity sings in my
So,
veins.
is there another one around here somewhere? Could probably draw the star in the other way.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
I feel nothing.
Ah!
Fear nothing.
Okay, that was no good. Alright, so you can't draw the star mirrored. Well, I've done both of those, so that wasn't entirely accurate. Oh, wait. Let's see. A cracked Vox. A furious male voice is coming from the old Vox. This is Captain Trevor Durhoth calling the bullion. Get your arses back to the surface and get me out of here, you creps. My guts may be fused to my suit, but I'm not dead yet, no matter how much you wish it were otherwise. A moment later, the raging tone gives way to strangled rasping. Hey, can any of you hear me? Respond. I'll pay double, just don't leave me here. Damn it, it was going so well. We even figured out how to open the first sphere thing.